Hey, what's up guys? It's me. I've been MIA for a while, but there was a good reason for that. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes, and I have some big news to share with you, which might be surprising for a lot of you, but it's extremely exciting for me. I actually got a new job. This job is literally my dream job, but I actually hate that term.
So tell us, what's your dream job?
Darling, I've told you several times before, I have no dream job. I do not dream of labor.
But for real, this job literally checks all of my boxes. It's everything that I could have wanted in a job, and honestly, it's even exceeding my expectations, so it's been so great. I am doing marketing for a beauty company in the cosmetic pharmaceutical space. So I work for a company called Allergan Aesthetics, and they own brands like Botox Cosmetic, Juvederm, Skin Medica, and a lot of other aspects of the company as well, but I am specifically doing marketing for Botox Cosmetic. I honestly love it so much so far, but I'll get all into that in this video. I want to give a huge thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. A huge reason why I decided to go back to a traditional job and no longer do my business full time was for my mental health. I know a lot of you are aware that I lost my younger brother about 7.5 months ago, and as you can imagine, that definitely turned my entire world and identity upside down, and it's so difficult already when you're a solopreneur with no coworkers or people to interact with on a daily basis. It's very lonely, and it definitely, for someone specifically who has very high anxiety, it can become super challenging. And during this time, when this big life event happened for me, it really started to take a toll on me. Therapy has been really important to me during this time, and I really wanted to use my channel to open up about mental health. So I'm so excited to be able to partner with BetterHelp for this video today. If you struggle with mental health, or even if you just want to have a third party to talk things through with, I highly recommend looking into BetterHelp. That's Better, H-E-L-P. BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained to listen and to help you. You can talk to your therapist in a private, online environment and at your convenience. There's a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus network of therapists. It gives you access to help that might not be available in your area. You just fill out the questionnaire to help you assess your specific needs, and then you get matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Then you just schedule a secure video and phone session, plus you can exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. I know it's super hard to find the right therapist that you connect to. It's a very personal thing. So if you connect with a therapist on BetterHelp and you don't click right away, you can definitely go ahead and request a new one with no additional charge. Join the 2 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. You can get 10% off of your first month of BetterHelp, and I'll put the URL with my code right here down below. Okay, so let's get into the deep dive of how this all went down. Being self-employed is super isolating when you don't have coworkers that you work with every single day and interact with, not only in person in an office, but even just like over virtual on the computer. Having people that you can build relationships with and work on projects together with really is something that I took for granted, and I think I didn't realize how much it would affect me being on my own all the time and running my own show, which I really do love, but I'm a kind of person that needs that kind of interaction just for my own mental health. It's also great to have higher up people in your company that you can look up to and to give you advice and to help you set goals for yourself and to be able to reach them and to kind of hold you accountable. I'm definitely a self-motivated person, and I never really struggled with that as much being self-employed and having my own business, but there really is nothing like having someone that is like a mentor to you, or like your boss or manager or whatever, like being able to sit down with them and talk about your goals and have them be able to help push you and guide you along the path of where you're trying to go. I absolutely love that, and that's something that I definitely was missing when I was self-employed. All that aside, that definitely was like the number one thing, but also just like the looming daunting problems of the self-employment with like health insurance, retirement, not having PTO. I really felt the struggle of this when I wanted to take time off when I was going through everything with my brother and not being able to have paid time off and having my income decline dramatically during this time really took a toll on me, especially as someone with anxiety. I am definitely like a high stress person, and I have anxiety about these things a lot, and I always kind of did, but this definitely, going through this big life altering change, definitely inflated those feelings of anxiety. The problems you have, I guess, when you have a more traditional job is you are kind of working like a 9 to 5. It's kind of repetitive, I suppose. You have like managers you have to answer to. You're working for someone else's dream, I suppose, and you're just collecting a paycheck and you're not really building something for yourself, which is what led me really to want to pursue entrepreneurship in the first place. And I'm so happy that I did, and I have zero regrets, and I learned so much by having my business and only relying on myself for my income and building like my own kind of dreams, and that was like so great. But the issues of being self-employed slowly became stronger for me, I suppose, as I was like weighing out the issues that you have with like both scenarios. And it came to a point where the thought of me getting a job and going back to like the corporate world was a relief. And once I like started feeling the relief of the idea of having that was kind of when I knew it was the right decision for me. I still absolutely love reselling, and it wasn't really that I fell out of love with it per se, but I started also just thinking like very long term, like what am I going to do 10 years from now? Is what I'm doing scalable, or am I really just creating a job for myself, but a job that doesn't have any benefits or any of the perks that would come with like a traditional job? Because with reselling, it's super hard to scale. A lot of like what you do relies solely on you and your input, and even if you do hire other people, if they need to take time off or if they quit all of a sudden, you're definitely going to be in a pinch. It's not a job really that you're building up to build from the ground up and that can run by itself without you being involved, and that just kind of becomes another form of a job. You're kind of like a slave to your job. Your business kind of owns you. And that was never like a situation that I really wanted to be in. It just kind of like became that, and I didn't really realize that at the beginning. I think a couple of people that really talk well about this are Moki Beth, El Ducho, and the Global Collective. They definitely talk a lot about this. So once I kind of started feeling relieved at the idea of going back to a job and no longer having this pressure of being self-employed and worrying about where the next 10 years would take me, I kind of knew it was the right decision for me, and that was when I kind of started applying for jobs. And I definitely did this like super under the radar. I didn't really tell anyone what I was doing just because I didn't want the pressure. And honestly, I was really concerned that me leaving my job and having my own business was going to maybe be a turnoff to employers and have them not want to hire me. But employers, as I was interviewing, actually saw it as a huge asset, which was a huge relief for me. I started applying for jobs in January, and I got so many rejection emails. Honestly, it was so disheartening and discouraging, and a lot of that just is because I was applying to jobs online, and a lot of times maybe those jobs were already filled by the time I applied, or they were already going to move forward with an internal candidate and they just had to post the job on a job board. Or maybe I just wasn't qualified for the job, because I was definitely shooting high during this time. But that definitely took a toll on my mental health again, just getting rejection after rejection after rejection. The process is just so terrible. I hate applying for jobs and dealing with resumes and all of that. So not the best time of my life. I finally got to a point where I had like 3 interviews going on like right around the same time, and there was one job that I thought that I really wanted, and I ended up losing it to an internal candidate, and then I got the job offer for the current job that I am in. And in hindsight, I was like so devastated that I didn't get that first job, and in hindsight, like this job that I have now is 20,000 times better, and I know that it definitely happened for a reason, that this is the job that I was supposed to get, and it just was a good reminder that life happens for you, it doesn't happen to you. There is a plan behind everything that happens to you, at least that's what I choose to believe, and it just was like a good reminder of that, and so I feel extra grateful to have this job now, just because, yeah, it was like a long road to get here, and I've definitely been through a lot in this past year, and this feels like such a win for me. I really needed a win in my life, so I'm very excited to share this news with you all. I am still doing my business. I'm still going to do reselling and YouTube. At what capacity I'm going to be doing these things, I'm not too sure. I'm definitely going to take a step back from both of these things for a while, and I already have, as you can probably tell, just to really kind of reevaluate how I feel about like both reselling and YouTube, and to really just focus on my new job for a while and get that kind of figured out. With my YouTube channel, I'm definitely going to be posting more types of videos, not just reselling videos, and there might be a time where I no longer post reselling videos. I love YouTube and I don't want to stop it, but I don't want to be put into kind of like the typical reseller YouTube box. I kind of just want to make the videos that I want to make, and if you don't like them, then feel free to unsubscribe. I appreciate you following me along on my reselling journey up until now, and I hope that you stick around to see what's next for the rest of my journey, whatever that may look like. Thank you to everyone who seriously has like reached out to me during the time like when I was going through everything, and even now just like checking up on me to see how I'm doing. Honestly, those DMs and like the comments on YouTube really do mean so much to me, that strangers on the internet would even care about how I'm doing. So thank you everyone who has supported me on my journey, and I hope you all stick around. All right, bye.